Welcome to yet another episode of Brand Talkies, a Kadabiti show where we believe in uncovering the stories behind the brands you absolutely love. I'm your host, Amana Chanana, and today we have a very special guest with us. If you're active on social media, I'm sure you don't need his introduction, but for the rest of you, his name is Sindhu Biswal. His journey is a testament to his versatility and determination. Where at 14, he aspired to be an astronaut, but realized his true calling lay somewhere else. By 18, he was spending 11 hours a day at a media production house, immersing himself in the world of music production, songwriting, and composition. And that's what made him the man he is today. His journey with brands like Jupiter, Paytm, Filter Copy, and Better Half has been a roaring success. And we'll be having a chat with him on the role of video marketing and its impact on businesses and customers. Today, Sindhu is a marketing advisor to some of the top marketing brands in India and shares his incredible knowledge and stories through his YouTube channel and his LinkedIn profile with his own name, Sindhu Biswal. Welcome to the show, Sindhu. It's truly a pleasure to have you today.
Hey, Tamara, thanks much. Thanks for having me. Quite excited.
Same here. Let's start by having you tell us a bit about yourself, your journey in the world of marketing, and where it all began.
So, I come from a place where marketing is treated to be okay. That guy who sells Aquaguard, door-to-door
Mhm.
salesman, encyclopedia, and all. To be very honest, smaller towns of India cannot differentiate marketing and sales. It's
Mhm.
almost closely attached. And yeah, so never thought of becoming a marketer because I did not know what a marketer does.
Mhm.
Always thought to become an astronaut because it looks fancy. And we were just having this chat. Maybe a lot of people in India were thinking of becoming an astronaut because we were not sold of any other dream because we can't just because we can't see something, hence we can't
Mhm.
dream about something.
Yeah.
Did science for a long time. In
Mhm.
10th, realized that science is not a cup of my tea at all. However, I had no idea what is the cup of my tea. Met a guy who was a big record label producer's son, and we started hanging out. I fell in love with the music environment.
Okay.
So I was going to studios every day, looking at how musics are made, how cassettes are sold. At
Mhm.
that time, you used to have your hardware cassettes. Right now, you don't have.
Mhm.
Right back then, there used to be a website called Reverb Nation, SoundCloud.
Mhm.
Uh, Independent artists were selling their music there, promoting music there. Facebook
Mhm.
group was a big thing. Started catching those trends pretty early on. And then
Yeah.
later realized that I think I like this craft of whatever you call. I just had no idea of what it is formally called. Joined an MBA college thinking that, okay, MBA will teach me something.
Yeah.
It did give me a lot of what cultural shaping, personal, but a lot of textbook knowledge was completely outdated. Like
True.
like purely outdated they were.
Mhm.
And I have this rebel attitude since a long time, and I started working at an incubator, IIT Delhi and IIT.
Mhm.
And I met a lot of founders and fell in love with the startup ecosystem.
Okay.
After that, have been working with a bunch of startups. First, I was building a startup with two other people. Didn't work out quite well. Left, joined Paytm Insider, was doing marketing for music and movies category. Pocket Aces,
Mhm.
with just a parent of Filter Copy Dice Media. Right now, they got. I wish I had some ESOPs there. Leading growth there. Growth is an interesting area. I had no idea what growth as a term was, which
Okay.
I was doing already. The
Mhm.
founder meets me over a cup of coffee and tells me that, hey, have you heard of Andrew Chen? And I was
Okay.
like, not really. And he was like, okay, he's the Uber guy. You
Mhm.
should go and Google him. And let's meet next time and let's talk about growth.
Okay.
I started thinking about Andrew Chen and his blogs that were pretty
Mhm.
famous. Then came through Sean Ellis, the
Mhm.
whole group of your growth hackers, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And then he realized I was doing the similar thing in India. And then the second time we met, he told me that, okay, I did not have a designation in my mind. What if I give you the role called growth? Your
Mhm.
job is to figure out hacks and processes and science to build channels, virality in content and stuff. That's how Pocket Ages happened. Did a very different kind of a job that I was doing at Paytm Insider.
Yeah.
Then moved to another city in Bangalore, joined Better Half, scaled
Mhm.
them when they were a small team to a pretty large team. Then
Mhm.
Jupiter was my last stint. And now I'm just consulting a bunch of founders in India.
Mhm.
One was in US. I'm trying to work with some overseas founders as well, just to realize and figure out if I can help them. Yeah, life has been good. Creating a lot of content on Instagram,
Yeah.
going to a podcast like you invited. And yeah.
Thank you. Indeed, it's a pleasure, especially for the consultants out there. Everyone is trying to create their own space. And
Right.
until and unless you go an extra edge to
Right.
create visibility for yourself, it gets very difficult to sustain the market?
Initially to create content, I was LinkedIn first. I started creating content on LinkedIn since 13 in my
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
Sorry, I messed it up. It was 2016. Yes, I started in 2016,
Mm.
and I was doing that time because to get a job.
Okay.
Then I like the craft. LinkedIn is my only consistent platform. Like there has been no 2 weeks that I have not posted at least one content.
Okay.
Uh,
Nice.
there was no output attached to it. Okay, I don't look at it like, okay, if I'm posting, I need a referral or I need a job or something like that. Started doing Instagram pretty solidly, and we were having a chat since last 6 months, and it has worked out pretty well. Doing YouTube, doing Twitter, I'm completely all out, multi-channel and stuff. But I don't have an output attached, to be very honest. My output, I don't want to build a USP on the side, and that's why I'm just building. Honestly, if you ask me, the reason I do is if I don't practice my craft on
Yeah.
social media, there is no way I should call myself a content marketer, period. And I genuinely believe in that. I will never hire a brand marketer who does not have an Instagram channel. Like, at least that is my hiring policy. And I don't care about which college you come from and what pedigree you have. Because just because the social media platforms keeps on changing every 3 months, every 6 months.
Right.
That's my reason. It's my practice ground. It's my happy ground.
That's true as well. Until and unless you have touched the flavor yourself and you have done it for yourself, you don't know what is the heart that you have to put to get a brand.
And you and I both know how many brand marketers are there who don't even have an Instagram account.
I know.
And then they give a random example of no, it's privacy reason. And I'm like, oh, why the hell are you hired then? And the numbers don't scale up. It's basic math.
I'm sure people would have gotten scared with those answers from.
No, I'm very vocal about it. I have done a lot of LinkedIn posts about this.
Yeah.
I'm completely shameless about it. Like I don't care making a lot of enemies, which I
Yeah.
already have.
When you have a true calling, that's where this entire game comes in. But when you speak for the words that you mean, then obviously some people will like, some people will not. Anyway, let's try to understand more about what was your aha moment in your marketing career when everything clicked and you realized you were on something really big.
Aha moment in my career. Yeah. So initially, what I used to think that okay, all the playbooks that you build and you do your knowledge transfer while you are leaving, it actually your team can just suck up on it and just start replicating. Now I have stopped believing in that. I don't believe you leave a legacy for sure. That legacy and that strategic skills and things goes with you, and that's why you will always notice when a CMO leaves or when a CEO leaves, company take a different direction. Either it goes becomes better or it becomes different.
Yeah.
So for sure, it is marketing specifically. It is not a thing that okay, whatever someone has done, they can put in a PDF file or a PPT file, and then you can just do it. So every company, every 4 to 5 months have been my aha moment. Overall, I have a problem with the thing. It's been what 8 to 9 years of mine since I have been working. My issue have been with marketing is the moment marketing becomes extremely revenue driven and you treat the team as a sales function, you lose the magic that marketing has. If you lose magic in marketing, you are not creating a brand. You are just a performance driven company. The problem with a performance marketing driven company is if you switch off a button, your company falls.
That's right.
So it's a quite challenging, and I'm like I feel very bad about it to be very honest.
I know I come from a similar set of background, and I do understand when you say
I think the problem most just because brand marketers are not able to show a ROAS, show us some bit of ROI or predictability. Like no one is asking, okay, your brand marketing should be 1+.
Yeah.
But the problem has been just because brand marketing managers, a majority of them are not able to even show any kind of measurability. That's the issue. That's why founders are not trusting. We
Exactly.
just have to build better brand marketers who understand the craft and slightly are more data driven and decision driven, slightly, not even higher.
If you show the right metrics, so the game will change. If
Correct.
not, then there are times when we struggle
Yeah.
in a similar format. But anyway, since you have some extensive experience in marketing, video that has played a pivotal role in
Right.
your life, right? Why don't you tell our listeners that why it's important to have video, or any kind of audio content for in your growth strategy? And how is it considered a crucial part for customers' engagement and conversions? Do you think that that can align well with any businesses?
So, see, what I genuinely believe is marketing exists in the cultural framework of a soil. So, I am not operating outside the culture,
Okay.
which means first I have to understand the culture. What is the culture that is right now? Everyone is on the phone, which means
Mm-hmm.
my dimensions are a square dimension and a vertical dimension. Vertical dimension was not existing before. And
Mm-hmm.
vertical dimension is a pure play video dimension. If you just zoom out as a marketer and if you start looking out trends of consumption pattern, you will see that vertical videos are consumed way, way more than a horizontal or a square video. So
Mm-hmm.
by default, by the nature of consumption patterns tells me that, hey, people are spending more time on vertical,
Mm-hmm.
and hence I have to invade that vertical, and hence I have to create my own verticals.
Okay.
Point one. Point two, the attention span everyone knows has gone down. Hence, it makes absolutely no sense to make a 1 minute video, 2 minute video. No one is watching. Enough experiments just to run videos on Facebook and to see what is the average play time. The
Yeah.
highest average watch time that I've seen for an ad is a 12 second, not even more than that. Yeah, 12 second is extremely small when you think,
Yeah.
but that's what a data is. Why do challenge the data? If
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact that okay, 12 second is the highest, not an average. The averages are 7 second. Then I
Okay.
know my video should not cross more than 15 second,
That's.
max to max. But
Mm-hmm.
we here build a 30 second, 1 minute, and I'll tell you the reasons or the problems of anyone attempting a video is you don't attempt from a distribution first lens. You attempt from a creative first lens. And the challenge with that is this. You do not give a brief to the writer or the creative director that, hey, the first 3 seconds, I want this. The
Mm-hmm.
rest, whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The problem that happens is the user actually makes a purchase decision in the first 3 to 5 seconds.
That's right.
Who understands what is the user purchasing? It's the marketer, not the director. So the
Right.
brief has to come from the marketer. So the
Mm-hmm.
game in this that I have understood for me is number one,
Mm-hmm.
you should have your own internal video team.
Okay.
So my internal video team produces content at scale for testing purposes.
Mm-hmm.
What works and I want to do it at a larger scale, larger production, I leave it to the product production. But I
Mm-hmm.
give the brief to the production by saying that, hey, the first 3 seconds should look like this.
Mm-hmm.
The language should be this.
Mm-hmm.
I want a pattern interrupt in the first 3 seconds. I spend a lot of time in designing the pattern interrupts.
Mm-hmm.
So the simple definition of pattern interrupt is what is happening in the first 1 second. Anything that is a random movement is a
Mm-hmm.
pattern. So for an example, if I have to come to the screen and I have to say that this tool saves your time, let's say random.
Okay.
The normal video is this tool saves your time.
Right.
There is no pattern interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
One pattern interrupt, a knock knock, your time.
Mm.
This thing will not come from your director's idea. Like they will think from a creative lens. But
Yeah.
you are like, ठीक है, knock knock करने पे the user will get some jittery effect and the CTRs will go up. Definition has to come from that. That is part one. Part two is your video should not be more than 12 to 15 seconds. Have a different cut for a vertical, have a
Mm-hmm.
different cut for a horizontal, and have a different cut for your square.
Okay.
Subtitles matters a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not subtitles that you are directly translating. It's the subtitles which you have to put in bold text so that people are actually reading. Because the reasoning is,
Mm-hmm.
go to Facebook and you will see a lot of people are keeping the sound off because they're
Yeah.
in office.
Yeah.
So
And
here again, I'm not doing subtitles because of a creative angle. I'm doing subtitles because of this. Means my subtitles will not be in the what footer, yeah, bottom, mein, chota chota. I will not do that. I'll
mm-hmm.
big text coming on the top.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is switched off, they will at least read.
Right.
So that's what I was talking about. The process of this creation has to be completely different. It has to be marketing spending more time writing the brief,
Right.
which majority of us suck at it because we were not trained around that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you give brief to the producer, not the vice versa. That the producer will do anything, and then you will, in your first draft, you will write these feedbacks. It
Yeah.
doesn't just work that way. But yeah, more or less, it is primarily around this.
Since you have analyzed that kind of data, what do you think if the attention span of the users was somewhere around 1 minute at a point of time? Now it has reduced to 10. It will reduce to 1 or 2 seconds. How do you really think marketers should have that kind of hat all the time and come up with new innovative solutions? And how?
So number one thing is that 1 minute attention span was never there as far as I have read the data, because number one, no one has analyzed TV ka data. ठीक है?
Exactly.
Because TV maybe you will understand, because you did not have the power to skip. Whenever the ad was coming, you watch to a certain extent and then you go to the loo, you drink water, all the refreshment work you are doing. So technically that is a skip.
That is a skip.
But
Yes.
TV recorded that as a full-time play because there was no option to skip. So
Yeah.
the skip option was always there. So total time length ka half was average before. The average has come a lot down. You can't like run away from it. That's what it is. So operate within that and not challenge the pop culture. Number two, just from a number centric thing, videos versus images, there is a massive difference in the CPM cost. There's a massive difference in the CACs. There's a massive difference in the CTRs. Super massive difference. Like I have tested this format also. Run an image and replicate that exact image and add 1-2 second animation and make the output as a .mp4 file and run that. You will see that.
That is this is something I've also realized in some of my campaigns.
So
So
just because by the nature of it, I mean, whatever it is, maybe it's the algorithm pushing .mp4 files versus files or whatever.
yeah.
If I know, first I have to do this test to figure out if it is working or not. Second, if I know that something is working or not, I have to build a team and a culture to just do it at scale. Like I believe in at least 5 creatives per week scale. And 5 creatives cannot happen with an agency partnership for sure. It's a larger thing. So you need to have an internal team, which means how do you form an internal team? Is your internal team from a classic agency background, or are you hiring photographers? How are you building the team? How is the script being written and stuff? That part needs to be figured out. It is a lot around culture also to build a video team. In my past hiring strategies, more or less it pans around that. But if your specific question that you were asking was, do they have to change it? Yes. Every 3 months, I have seen my teams are not working out. I have to completely change the model.
In fact, even if agencies give it to you one common template that you use it for some time, it's not gonna work because your audience get bored. So you have to come up with something else. Otherwise, they'll just leave you.
Yeah, true. Like few of the video campaigns that have worked for me, the campaigns that I discarded in the first go by saying that this is not creatively looking good. India, especially India, will surprise you a lot just because it's a very heterogeneous country, not a homogeneous mixture like US. And hence this philosophy does not apply there. Okay, one ad for the whole country. I have seen that if I'm running an ad in Hindi, if the ad speaks in Hindi, the production quality has to go down, not high.
Yeah.
If the production quality looks very, very high, and if my average order value is 50 rupees, people. So what happens is you associate production quality design with price.
Yeah.
So something looks very good in design by default, without looking at the price, people feel this is very high cost.
Exactly.
As a marketer, I have to keep my shoe outside of design. I'm like, okay, like make it bad design.
So that's what I was saying, right? That you have to be on your creative edge all the
Right.
time. While I was in HT, I realized that the English newspaper, Hindustan Times, the Mint, had a different set of persona altogether. The entire releases will be completely different. Whereas the Hindi version, the entire advertising, the print quality, everything is completely different. So you actually realize when you think deeper that there's a different set of market that you are touching base. So yeah, definitely. All right. Can you share some examples of some video campaigns that you have worked and they have significantly given tremendous numbers?
Let me give you 2 examples. So Operation MBBS was a web series that we were promoting. It was in collaboration with your Unacademy that time. The idea was okay, that was the first large scale web series marketing that I was supposed to do. And when I say large scale, which means the targets were okay, we have to hit 4 million, 5 million, 6 million per episode. There were 5 or 6 episodes of that web series.
Yeah,
So
I've seen
that's a pretty massive campaign. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let me not do the old school YRF style marketing stuff. And what is the old school style marketing stuff? I'll just define. So what they do is there is a teaser, there is a trailer that gets launched at a T-5 window of the first episode. Why T-5? Because you run that promotion for the 5 days because the span is low and people forget if you do it pre that. And then your episode 1 spikes up and then they do whatever they want.
Yeah.
I said, let me do one thing. Let me follow the principle of product marketing and let's see what happens. So when I say product marketing, what I did primarily is this. I said that, okay, the script or the target audience of Operation MBBS is it was talking about the life story of 2B doctors studying in college. Likely, अगर आप इसका TG देखोगे, what you will realize is people who have passed out of college is another TG. So you got your 2 TG now.
Right.
Now in 2 TG, I will not run a single. I gave the belief that okay, for this audience, it's nostalgia. For this audience, it's aspiration.
That's right.
So I need 2 different soundtracks. Nostalgia, slow sounding piano on this, a hyped up rap song on this, 10-seconder on this, and a 20-seconder on this. Timing, because generally what happens, if you have to attack a nostalgia emotion or a sad emotion, you slightly need a longer time to establish the context.
Yeah.
Different things, 2 different ad groups, 2 different contact running. How the flow works is I collect a larger audience set of top line here of nostalgia. I collect a larger audience of top line here of your aspiration.
Right.
My episode 1 will get the highest spends.
Okay.
Episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, episode 5 will not acquire a newer audience.
Okay.
I will just do remarketing of the previous audience.
Yeah.
And I will push that thing down. And every episode, what I'm technically doing, and I'm just keeping on increasing the top line of first episode.
Yeah.
And just waiting and watching, automatically second, third, fourth ka organic spike is coming or not.
Right.
That's it. Exact same principle that we exactly do on your product marketing. This theory does not exist in your entertainment world of the things.
Right.
What they do is they follow the very Gisapita rule of key. How can we get a lesser cost per view in every episode?
Yeah.
And the only way to get a lesser cost per view is by doing a pan-India targeting without any logic.
Right.
Because a brief is key, we want more and more views and save a lot of money.
Yeah.
There. What I keep on seeing is if you actually do contextual, trailer-based, funnel-down based approach, your organic keeps on increasing for legit reasons.
Yeah.
So you're pretty good. Exact similar principle by taking multiple emotions in multiple ad groups, replicated that in Better Half. So in Better Half, there was a campaign that we were doing is so there was a Twitter meme that was going on. Actually, 2 Twitter memes. So one was arranged marriages are scary. That is one that was going on. Another meme was going on. It is easier to find a house in Bangalore. Sorry, it is harder to find a house in Bangalore than harder to find a wife or a husband. Yeah. So I was like, let's do one thing. Let me reverse it. We build a campaign, and the campaign looks like this. There is one video which talks about it is easier to find a ghost than to find a wife. And it is easier to find a house than to find a wife. So taking 2 polar opposite extremes of things which has got no relation, like a ghost has got no relation with the wife, combining it, the video has to be at a very lower end production. So you're using my iPhone.
Yeah.
The video brief was my first 3 seconds has to be a hook, has to be a pattern interrupt, and the pattern interrupt was I was holding the camera and I was running on the streets in the night. That's it.
Okay.
So the video is shot where someone is running. That's it. I want the jittery effect. I don't want the stabilization. There were 3 people involved who were in my team. Great work that they did. Very random video. The video is not making any sense if you see. And the idea was, the format was, my video starts with a pattern interrupt, establishment comes, then someone snatches the phone from me and says, download Better Half to find matches and everything. The video ends with a super random thing that we were having a 1 hour session to plan ki last mein kya rahega. So video 1 of the ghost had end mein a ghost is following and chasing you and the guy is saying hey chude. Idea, it is making no sense, but the idea there was a behavior I noticed in Pocket Aces. What we used to do is you plant certain words, certain lingos at the end of the video, and your hypothesis is your comment section will be about that, not about the people forget by the end when they watch. So if your end thing is very flat because people have forgotten what to talk about.
That's right.
Exact similar pattern you will notice in the cred ads also. Yeah. It starts with a interrupt, goes normal flat. Every end has some random aberration. And the talk is about we wrote Chudel, making no sense. All the comment section on the ads are Chudel. My comment spike, which signals the Facebook algorithm that my engagement rates are high, and Facebook clears my ad CPC.
Mm-hmm.
and the ad CPCs goes down, CTRs goes up, and everything else matters.
Mm-hmm.
The similar playbook we replicated on a multiple bunch of other ads. The
Yeah.
best performing ad was the ghost ad. It is live on my YouTube channel. If anyone goes and
Mm-hmm.
maybe start finding ghost ad, better half, maybe they will find it. If anyone looks at it from on a PPT, they will say
Yeah.
very badly made and all. But yeah, so what I found, the game is not in the camera,
Mm-hmm.
not in the edit.
Mm-hmm.
First, the game is in the script. Tight is a script which is not exactly creatively driven, but it is very smartly marketingly written.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Following the trend is the key, if I have to summarize it.
Yeah, sure. Not exactly following the trend, following the pattern
Mm-hmm.
on you replicating on your ad. So
Okay.
if I know for a fact certain keywords a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people use on comment section of the YouTube, I spend a lot of time on the comment section. A lot of ideas come from there.
Okay.
I spend a lot of time on your Play Store reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, a lot of ideas come from there. By
Yeah.
the way, reviews, comment section are the best place to get ideas.
Yeah.
So I watch ads less, read
Mm-hmm.
comments more.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So it's a good catch because you know what consumers are thinking about
Exactly.
that particular area.
Like you can go all crazy around your data science also. Let's say you run
Mm-hmm.
a scraping tool and you start scraping on the word cloud. Okay, what are those words that majority of people are using? Let's
Mm-hmm.
say I was doing this experiment 3 years back and I found bucklol is a word that a lot of people are using. Majority of the people. You can build some ad about that. Ends with that bucklol. Only if your brand tonality suggests that. Like I cannot do this for a SaaS product,
Okay.
consumer tech, consumer product of stuff.
But I could relate to you because for B2C audience, it's very important that whatever is happening right now and you are
Yeah.
in the moment,
Yeah.
will definitely resonate to what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. But again, people are challenging. Like Dave Gerard, if you just start checking him out, a very famous guy in the B2B world.
Hmm.
I think a lot of ads that Privy and all other people have done in the B2B SaaS world of that area are somewhat close to B2C that a B2B will generally not do. I think
Right.
unless and until you are a complete enterprise,
Hmm.
then it makes no sense.
Hmm.
But if you still are catering to your startup world, like if you check Razorpay X ads,
Yeah.
which whose major consumers, I guess, is startups.
Uh,
They are a very bold format, like a very bold format.
hmm. They play very well. Let's do a buzzer round. All right, you have to answer these questions in one. All right. What's the most embarrassing social media mistake you have ever done in your career?
I've
Okay.
done. I still make a lot of typos though.
All right. And do people pinpoint that?
Point
Or
out, yeah. A lot
people
of
just,
grammar mistakes,
yeah,
spelling. It's not a typos like okay something else.
yeah.
Very simple. Yeah. But now I'm not ashamed about it. And I'm like okay, theek hai, it's fine.
We are
It's
human
normal.
beings, right? We are not AI bots.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good catch. We'll move towards a world where typos are the way to show that okay you are real and
You're human, not an
yeah.
AI. True. Have you ever used over the top marketing lingo in your normal conversation to confuse someone? And if yes,
No.
give an example. No?
Never knowingly.
Yeah.
Unknowingly, maybe. No, I don't think so. Never. No one told me, okay. So people have asked me, okay, what does this mean? But people have never told me, okay, theek hai, some literary shit.
Uh-huh.
I told always in my MBA days that, hey, if you cannot convince people, use a lot of jargons and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mostly speak in Hindi, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I like to simplify and dumb down. If anyone is using jargons, I simply say, I don't understand English. Can you please tell me in Hindi? I just like to do
That's a
that.
fun way to take it.
I honestly believe if you're selling to people of India, it's not the game. Be clear about it. Jargons are not the game.
Mm. They want emotion. They want something that they feel about. And I think
And
that's shift.
unfortunately, or whatever you can say, I feel Hindi has a different emotion than English. But still, you
Mm.
like you like Fevicol ads because they're in Hindi. You translate that into English,
Yeah.
it just doesn't land. It just
Mm.
doesn't land.
Fevicol ka jod.
Now translate that into English, it sounds very
Why do
like
you want to sell Fevicol?
so no offense to English, but if it's a mass product, has to be Hindi, not even English.
Hmm.
English area to go into.
Mhm.
But yeah, if it's a mass product, it's for sure Hindi.
Throughout the time that I have spent in UK, I've realized that every country has a different flavor to it. While we are in India, we try to make sure that digital is hyperactive. You always find outdoor advertising more. You'll find buses who have your new movies advertising over there. The taxis have all of that, and they are still old school in all those way, because they'll not go and watch it on Facebook or anywhere else. They'll obviously go see randomly. I'm traveling there. The red buses that are very famous in Bollywood, they have been in and around the city. Whenever you go to London, you are like, all right, there's something that's happening in this particular thing. And if you notice, there was a new Maybelline ad where they were literally using those brushes over these buses. And that is something that would really work for this audience. But if you're in India, definitely that won't work because either that particular thing will be moved out in some point of time or someone else will do something else. So
True.
every geography has a different flavor to it. And
Hmm.
definitely I know that Indian market has that kind of flavor, that kind of emotions that they come up with.
Every MNC that comes to India and tries to do an ad, you will
Mhm.
see that they to attempt the emotional route. So Indians by default are
Mhm.
emotional in nature. That's quite true. You cannot show rationality in an ad and expect a purchase. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it differs from country to country for sure.
All right. Last question for this round. How would a young Sindhu react to the marketing guru you are today?
React to the marketing guru I'm today.
Yeah. When you were in your 20s or in your 16s or something.
I'm just confused. Either I'll say that okay, he's bold,
Hmm.
or there is nothing in between. But both are fine. Bold and foolish is fine.
That's what makes you, right?
No, also one thing I would like to emphasize is when you are in the zone, initially I always had that, what do you say, inferiority complex. I still have sometimes.
Mhm.
Content helps me recover that for sure. Like
Mhm.
every time I drop a content and I'm like, okay, yeah, every day I'm posting, people might be thinking, okay, Rosa ke gyan de raha hai, a lot of people say and
Mhm.
everything.
Mhm.
But then at the larger picture, honestly, nothing matters. Like
Right. Mhm.
people literally don't care.
Mhm.
And there will be obviously 50 people, like there are 50% people who are like, okay, we love what you're doing
Mhm.
because we are learning and you're giving it out for free.
Right.
And then there are 50% people who are absolute haters. If
Mhm.
I do a panel interview and if I ask why do you hate me,
Mhm.
they're like, I don't have a reason. I heard about you from someone, and that's what the life is. Does concern me sometimes that okay, why do I want so many haters? But that's what the nature is.
Yeah.
So I'm least concerned about right now. So
Right.
the previous one may have been slightly ashamed, slightly scared,
Mhm.
but every year I'm becoming better and less getting scared and stuff.
You grow with your own learnings. Short liner, I'll say to you. All right. We'll not drag it further because we know that our attention span of the user is pretty low. But yeah, considering all of that, you spoke about short form video content earlier. How can business adapt to short form video content in their marketing strategies? If you can give an example from a B2B space, that would be good.
Okay, let me try to break it down. Number one, I feel if someone has to start from today and in the playbook video was not at all there, I think start talking to some consultants and figuring out how to build a video culture and a team. It's a very
Okay.
different thing.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot, if you are a founder who does not understand marketing or doesn't understand creativity,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be very very hard to retain people in the video space. People just behave differently.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot look at them in the same lens. The OKRs will be very different. No one
Right.
understands OKRs. Like half of the founders who book a call on me on top mid ask me, okay, what are the OKRs and how should I measure the performance of my editor? Is it on the timeline that they give the edit for? Yes, then how do I measure it and how do I improve it? It is I cannot keep on saying that okay, every quarters, if you are taking 1 hour to deliver a video, take like half an hour. Like that is not the metric because my productivity will be hampered. Or the very simple answer is your graphic designers, your video editors should own the OKR of average retention rate of the video.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it's the edit that solves for retention rate. It's the
Mm-hmm.
script that solves for retention rate.
Mm-hmm.
While your manager's job is overall growth,
Mm-hmm.
follower numbers, subscribers gained, and other stuff. So you
Right.
can actually break it down if you figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
But number one is talk to someone who has built it,
Mm-hmm.
figure out a model. First, agree that okay, you
Mm-hmm.
have the temperament to at least build this model for 1 year or something. This is not a sales model. After 3 days, you've seen a number.
Mm-hmm.
Once you agree, figure out how do I get a good video editor? How do I get a good videographer? The hiring process are not the same. You cannot upload on a LinkedIn and you figure out, okay, these people will come because these people do not hang out on. So go to cinematography colleges to figure out. All of the hirings happen on your Instagram and stuff. Your Naukri, not a lot of great people that comes up. So hire that first. Second, the social media manager should be from a content creation space. So my general playbook is the manager who is managing these people should be at least a YouTuber or an Instagrammer, period. Doesn't matter the followers, but he or she should be at least creating content regularly so that this video people can look up to.
Exactly.
Otherwise, what happens is these video people keep on creating content and the manager is speaking a different language. They're not able to gel well and their ego comes up and the founders have to keep on dealing and changing people according to that. So once your video culture is built, number one, then you get the marketing team get in sync and start providing the marketing team building a culture that, hey, you have to create briefs and team will give you the layout, not the vice versa. And your brief should be absolutely clear. So which means you need to go through a rigorous brief training process, brief writing. I remember in my MBA college, they used to train me how to write a good creative brief that an agency writes. But like if I have met at least 20, 30 startup founders in India and I have met the team, hardly anyone has written a creative brief. Because what happens is these people are not just trained, they just say, okay, I want this type of video. And the editors, So the brief writing culture has to come if you actually want to build this team in the right way and you start launching it, then start documenting it. Where in documentation, you should be running data analysis on a bunch of things. I'll just tell you what data analysis I was running on. Number one, thumbnail analysis. Zoomed in picture versus zoomed out picture, thumbnail CTR analysis. Left alignment text versus right alignment text. Text in caps lock, text in smalls. Which colors in the text versus certain colors in a text. Background copy versus background colors, black and white. Do those analysis, you will have your thumbnail, thumbnail data. Do analysis of your retention. So if you go to YouTube, if you're running your ad, go to YouTube, check on analytics, you will see a retention graph. In the retention graph, you can see spikes and drops. Drops basically means that people have left or did not watch or something. Spike basically mean people either shared that particular piece of content at that particular time. Everything that has a spike, that can be micro content.
All right. Got
So
it.
what my micro content strategy is upload a 12-minute video, watch the spikes, पर मेरे को micro content that will go on.
For example, if it is like 2 minutes, and out of these 2 minutes, there's a spike at 10 seconds, then there's another spike at 25. So you know that these are the bites that are working for you.
Exactly.
And plug and play those with your.
And then you have your drops. Whatever drops you have, just circle it, write it down, do a debrief session with the team. Let's watch the video frame by frame and understand why people dropped. Maybe you introduced a particular song which was bad. Maybe the shot was slow motion. Maybe there was a title slate intro. Maybe there was an ad or whatever. You write those down, and then every time you are making that video, you will try to omit those things. So you can actually, so it's just pure play this particular exercise, rigorous exercise, documentation, data analysis. After 6 months, you'll be sorted around this. And it's not a rocket science, I'll be very honest. The major problem is
no one wants to put effort.
No one wants to put effort. Second, it's a lot of discipline and consistency. Like a lot of discipline and consistency. They're in this hopefulness is okay. Hey, give me this ad by evening, and you got the ad. You just run the ad by default on the ads manager. No effort have been put to figure out that okay, what is like I have seen those ads and the very basic common sense of the ad. It's played on the smartphone, not your laptop. What people do, what a lot of marketing people do is they use the headphones. Headphones pick you because headphones decibel volume is high. Play on the loudspeaker. If the loudspeaker volume is fine, even with the highest speed, and then cross check with your the default sound that you have on your phone. If that decibel is matching this decibel, that is fine. 90% of the time the decibels are lower because you heard it on the headphone and it is not दिखाई भी नहीं दे रहा है, सुनाई भी नहीं दे रहा. Sound also to massive effort of your retention checking and then giving feedbacks and everything.
This shows the kind of in-depth video marketing you have done for the brands.
I mean, that's why I just told you that why it needs a team and why it needs culture and a team building tools and things are separate. There are tools for this. So you have vidIQ, TubeBuddy, keywords.io. There are a lot of tools for your YouTube data analysis as well. But
Mhm.
more or less this, coming to the B2B front, the principles are still the same. Like I love a lot of ads in the B2B front that has been done by a lot of your in-video AI creation tools of video editing worlds and all. Those are pretty great. I love ads that they have. Those
Yes,
are actually B2C space, and you will be like, okay, why does an email marketing provider has to do this? Like email is a boring thing.
exactly. No one will expect
No
that.
one will accept. Like I cannot come and say, okay, best service providing by email. Your
Yeah,
GoDaddy has Dhoni,
yeah,
and in a sane mind, you will think, why is Dhoni endorsing a website domain hosting platform?
yeah,
The ads are very B2C level.
yeah,
That okay,
yeah.
B2B can actually do that. We just come from that mindset. No, it has to be boring. It has to be straight faced. It has to be very
No,
enterprise.
I'll be honest, I have been in B2B space for last 6 years now. And one thing I've commonly realized, until and unless you resonate with your customers, either you come from a B2C understanding or you come from a B2B, you cannot win the game.
True.
For winning the game, you have to understand your customers. You want to play, you know that you have these your TGs have been divided in such a way, understand their thought process and then do it. That's a better way to put it. The last question of this entire podcast, for businesses on a limited budget, what cost effective tools you have worked on, or are there any AI tools that have recently been involved, especially
So
on
is it
YouTube?
just around video or the whole marketing gamut?
No, let's talk a bit about from the video front,
Video?
and then if you
Okay.
want to go deeper, then
So
we.
there's a tool called captions.ai,
Mm-hmm.
which is costing 3,000 to 5,000 INR in India for a year.
Okay.
And what it does is it writes your subtitles, edits your subtitles,
Mm-hmm.
zoom in, zoom out. So let's say
Mm-hmm.
if I'm recording this, it's a
Mm-hmm.
straight frame.
Right.
Will cut the frame, it will zoom in, zoom out, add some images. The images
Okay.
are linked. It
Mm-hmm.
automatically detects what I'm just speaking and add its image on the own at a cost of 3 to 5. Very cost effective.
Mm-hmm.
You can do record a boring video, put it
Mm-hmm.
through captions.ai and pull that trigger out.
Mm-hmm.
Second, there is a tool called Veed.io.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that okay, you want to do online editing without any idea of your what Adobe Premiere and all.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot hire an editor or whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do it yourself, you can
Mm-hmm.
use that. There
Mm-hmm.
is another tool called video.ai,
Okay.
which what does is, let's say I recorded a podcast, a long form.
Mm-hmm.
I want a lot of short forms for LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Snapchat, and multiple things. And you want a lot of reels. So generally,
Mm-hmm.
what people do is they give it out to an editor and they say, okay, I want 30 reels or something.
Mm-hmm.
You just upload it to this tool. This tool
Mm-hmm.
will create reels for every dimension or these contexts, and it will give you 50, 60 reels in 10 minutes or
Wow.
something.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep on training the tool by saying that, okay, I like this reel, I did not like this reel, and it will keep on becoming better.
Mm-hmm.
But he literally like squeeze your time into half. And the
Right.
costings are very less. Like these are tools I'm talking about at a like lesser than a 5,000 rupees, 7,000 rupees of costing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
your editor will charge you at least 25,000. They are good tools to start with from an editing or a post production perspective.
Okay.
From a pre-production perspective, which is the research part, that
Mm-hmm.
okay, what topics you should be making your videos on YouTube and Instagram. There
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
if you cannot buy the paid plan, the free plan is also enough
Okay.
to figure out okay what people are searching on YouTube and all. You can use a group buying tool,
Okay.
flickover.io or .com. What that tool does is it unlocks Canva Premium, SEO, then it unlocks a bunch of 15, 20 tools actually at a cost of 2,000 per month or something, if I'm not
Okay.
wrong. It's a
Mm-hmm.
group tool basically. The main thing is it unlocks a tool called keywords.everywhere.io or keywords.io or something like that. That tools gives you data research on what people are searching on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
what people are searching on Google, YouTube, and everything. So this one tool will give you everything. So if
Yeah.
you're keeping stack sorted, you at least you can start with something.
Yeah.
And I am myself using to
Mm-hmm.
roll out one video content every 2 days on Instagram at a scale. I
Yeah.
edit my videos of my own
Mm-hmm.
after doing a lot of work. So
Mm-hmm.
just giving a proxy that okay, if after consulting work I can edit, then
Mm-hmm.
maybe I have figured out some playbook that is working on a timeline perspective. And this is working for me, and hence I'm sharing this.
Yeah.
At a lesser budget.
That's really good because I know that there are a lot of free tools also that are available, but you cannot edit captions. There are times you are literally struggling with the frame. You don't know the size, what's happening. So for the new,
But the challenge is not in the tool. Like,
uh-huh,
point is you have tons of tools. Like your Canva, you will have people using it to the shittiest level, and Canva people are using it to the main level and selling services on that.
exactly.
It's your design sense. That's it.
Yeah,
If you have a good design sense, these tools will, like, literally you can build a business on top of this.
yeah.
You have a shittiest design sense, no matter how many tools you buy, you will not be able to do it.
I resonate to that. I'm the first person who's actually asking the design team to make tons of changes, and they come to me that let us do our jobs. I said, no, I know what you're doing. I have to get it done. But yeah, my design team will actually listen to this and they'll be like, thank God she actually accepted.
No, I think marketers need to be in sync with the design.
Yeah.
I think we have come a different route. When I was passing out of the college,
Mm.
I was hanging around with people who understand design, and these are marketers. Slowly, what we have done is we have given. I'm a performance marketer myself, but
Yep.
the performance marketing domain has got itself so much of important in just data
Mm.
that they have completely forgotten the design part, which now is
Exactly.
becoming challenged because what has happened is almost a lot of performance marketing is automated,
Mm.
right? You are not doing the manual stuff before. So the
Mm.
majority of the craft right now in performance marketing, out of all the optimizations and data and stuff,
Mhm.
is writing good copies and design. So
Right.
now almost everyone is struggling. Okay, how do
Mm.
we do this? We don't know. A lot of my texts that I get, okay, how do I? In the morning only, I was doing an AMA session on Instagram, and
Mm.
someone told me that, okay, how do I build creativity to run ads? And I'm like, how do I answer this question? I have no clue.
Creativity to run ads. Oh my God.
I mean, that person was actually trying to be like, okay, how do I build an ad, write a script and all?
Right.
I mean, I
It's
don't have a template or a playbook to.
that's true, so true. Because one of the key things that I believe, so I started off when I was doing my engineering. I started off with the graphic designing, video designing, and
Right.
all of that. That in roadmap that I had said at that point of time, it's helping me out now also. Because
Yeah.
at times I know that if this A thing will not work, I should have a plan B for this. It's crazy.
Graphic design you can do from anywhere in the world as a freelancer. It's a
Yeah.
never going job, no matter how many AI tools come
AI
into
tools
place.
are coming in anything. I have used Photoshop, I have used Illustrator at a point of time, and so it's good to know that people actually accept the same thing right now. Also, it's not that with the AI tools things have changed, people don't accept those things, but yeah, those initial grounds, initial baseline makes me a better marketer than the rest of us because you know what you are doing and how you are doing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I am all in for brownie points to marketers who
Hmm.
understand,
Yeah.
because someone who understands creativity and design, I
Hmm.
can data part and
Hmm.
logic, not the vice versa.
Exactly.
If,
I read it somewhere recently itself, maybe from a Harvard study or Forbes. I don't remember exactly where. But it was written there are ways you can enhance your creativity. There are no ways that you can create your own creativity. Thank you so much, Sindhu, for your time. It was indeed an in depth discussion about video marketing, and I'm sure this will be really helpful for the
yeah.
people who really want to go deeper, want to learn that how video marketing can actually shape the entire consumer edge. Before we go, why don't you give our listeners a piece of advice for the aspiring marketers who are looking to enter the world of marketing and considering AI is really reshaping the entire frame?
See, okay, let me slightly give one liner about AI. AI is affecting jobs, that is for sure. There is
Yeah.
no, like, I won't discard it, but it is not killing everyone.
Mhm.
What AI cannot absolutely do is pure creativity.
Yeah.
It can solve some timelines of creativity, but not exact replication of the whole thing.
Right.
And I'm considering to whatever is happening right now in the mid
Mhm.
journeys of the world and your stuff. And I don't know how future looks like. Maybe
Mhm.
the AI is able to do that, and that will be a doomsday. We'll figure out some other job. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
But right now, what AI can for sure solve, and what already has solved, is data
Mhm.
science analysis. That is already getting solved, and it looks like, okay, it will be getting solved.
Right.
The only skill that I urge everyone to have is good copywriting skills.
Okay.
That is mandatory. In every hiring of mine,
Mhm.
I ask, do you think that you can write a good copy? If
Mhm.
someone says yes, I
Mhm.
give them some copywriting exercises. If someone says no, directly I do not proceed with the next round because I genuinely feel if you're not a good copywriter, you are not a good marketer. It's period. You can call yourself whatever you want, an ad operations specialist, technician, whatever, but not a marketer for sure. So mandatory skill to pick up, focus on copywriting. Enough copywriting free courses on YouTube and everything. Great courses, Backlinko. Backlinko has a copywriting course. You should be trying that out. But the only way to do good copywriting, according to me, is by writing content regularly on YouTube or Twitter.
All right.
Every person into good copywriting, you will ask them, they will say that, okay, this is my practice ground.
Exactly.
That's it. Do this exercise regularly.
It's really important because people don't practice on themselves, then how will they build better brands? That's what I believe. All right, listeners, we hope you have been inspired to stay on the top of the latest video marketing trends. Also, don't forget to follow Sindhu on his LinkedIn and on his YouTube channel too. He shares some really amazing marketing insights. And I hope you would have gotten that from the conversation we had today. And remember, you can catch the BD show on your favorite audio platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or Amazon Music. We are also on YouTube, so go ahead and subscribe us. Until next time, enhance creativity, innovation, and cutting edge marketing. The future, the ones who shape it. From all of us at Brand Talkies, stay inspired. Thank you.